All right, we're rolling. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna do this video in one take. I'm just driving to the gym. I figured this would be a good time to do it, so don't be concerned if I stutter or whatnot, because I'm not editing anything out. So here we go. Today's video is about how I saved up $30K by the time that I graduated high school. So I'll give you guys some quick context. Right now I'm 19, I'm a freshman in college, just at my local community college. And I graduated high school last June. It's currently March, so it's been about 9 months. And right now I have about, in savings, like 55K, mostly in investments actually. But when I graduated high school, if I remember correctly, I had about 30K. Honestly, it might have been a little bit more, closer to like 35, but 30K sounds good enough, let's be real. And it's also a lot more realistic. So here we go, I'll tell you guys how I did it. So for me, I started working in my junior year of high school. I got my first job in like December of my junior year. So it was about half of my junior year, my full senior year that I was working. And it was at no other place than McDonald's, guys. I saved up 30K in high school working at McDonald's. You guys are probably like, how the fuck is that possible? I'll tell you. So basically what happened is I got the job. I started working 1 day a week because they basically said, we don't hire minors. I was 17 at the time, but they gave me a shot. I was working 1 day a week. And with that day, every time I was in there, I was hustling. Like, I would just go in the back. They'd have me taking the orders, but I do all the dishes. I do like all the little tasks they give you, like fold the Happy Meal boxes, put the sauces in the little sauce containers, whatever. And also, I would go every day on the app. I have my notifications ready. Anybody who dropped a shift, I would pick it up, even if it was like I had no experience. So I was picking up shifts, doing whatever I could. And I remember after about 3 months, instead of getting one shift, they finally gave me 3. It was like 3 shifts for 12 hours. And I was like the happiest kid on the planet. So yeah, obviously once I got that, my hours up a little bit. I just kept grinding, every time I was at work, I kept trying to outwork everybody pretty much. I always had everything I needed to do done and more. And they recognized it quickly. And my general manager pretty much told me after like 4 months, he's like, when you turn 18, we want to make you a manager if you're interested. And I was like, sure. Turn 18 in about 4 months. And yep, so that summer I ended up changing my availability. And I remember sitting in class and I saw my notification, you're scheduled 5 shifts for 40 hours. And holy shit, I might as well have been on like cocaine, dude. I was the happiest kid in the world because I was sitting there calculating, like, I'm in California. And 3 months after I started working, April 1st of 2024, the fast food minimum wage went up to $20 an hour. So I was 17 making $20 an hour as a junior in high school, which that's pretty good, dude. Now maybe it doesn't go as far, but $20 at 17 in 2024, that was fire money, dude. It was every hour I worked, I got a $20 bill. That was great. So I was sitting there calculating over the summer, like, okay, I got 40 hours. That's 40 times 20, 800 times 11 weeks, 7,700 bucks. I'm gonna make almost 8 grand this summer. I was so happy. So I ended up working the entire summer, and by the time my senior year started, I want to say I would have turned 18 right at the beginning of my senior year, the first week of school, September 1st. And at that time, I had probably $15,000 saved up, because I had the $7,700 from summer, and then the 6 months beforehand I was working, I probably made about $7,000. And if you're young and you're in high school, you can pretty much just save everything, you guys, because you don't really have any bills. All I was paying for was my gas and my pre-workout. That was pretty much it. I was lucky. I had a old 2005 BMW that my grandpa gave me, so that was really nice. So I had a way to get to work every day, and I was pretty much able to just save everything. I'm not a big spender. I kind of wear the same clothes every day. I'm one of those people, so it wasn't really too difficult for me. So yeah, I would highly recommend doing your best to save as much as you can. It's okay to put a little bit of money aside for spending, but if you're trying to save up money, the best thing you can do is just pretend it's not even there. So by the time I was 18, I still wasn't a manager. I became a manager about 4 months later after I worked there for 1 year. And managers make $22 an hour. So I was going to work after school every single day of my senior year. I was working 5 or 6 days a week. I started at about 25 to 30 hours just because summer was over and my availability wasn't open anymore. And then once I became a manager, I pretty much got it moved up to 40, and I started doing a couple of the closing shifts. So our closing shifts were 3 to 11, and my usual after school shifts were 1:30 to 8, which were all solid. I would just go straight from school to work, make like $120, clock out, get free food. I'm a big gym guy, and I would always they have quarter pounder patties. I would get 2 quarter pounder patties, which is like 400 calories, 40 grams of protein. And then at home, before I left for school, I would either make a bowl of rice or like a bowl of pasta, and then I would just mix it in for my lunch, and it was like perfect bulking meal, like 50 grams of protein every time. That was fire. I miss my quarter pounder patties, man. But let's see, so during my senior year, probably in like November, I ended up buying this car, which you guys can't see it, but it's a 2011 BMW 335i. I paid $7,500 and another $1,500 for like taxes and closing, so I ended up paying $9,000 for it, which was about half my money at the time. I remember having about $18,000 saved in November of 2024, and so I was back down to like $8,000 or $9,000 in savings. But I had this car, and I ended up selling my old car for $3,000, so I really only lost $6,000. And by the end of 2024, during my senior year in December, I had roughly about, I want to say $10,000 saved. No, it was probably more than that. I probably had like $12,000. So here we are, January 1st, 2025. I've got like $12,000 saved. That was right when I became a manager too. I didn't start getting the manager pay till February, but whatever, that's a different story. But I was getting my 40 hours a week, which was nice, and they pretty much had me going 6 days, so switch up my schedule a little bit. And doing that for $20 to $22 an hour, I was making, my checks were about $1,500 after tax. So before tax, it was like $3,500. So I mean, you take $3,500 from January to June, multiply that by 6, what do you get, like $2,150? So I pretty much made $21,000 by the time I like was out of high school, graduated, and 2 weeks later. So I made like $21,000. Add that to my 10. That's about $30,000 saved up. So obviously that's how I did it. That's the context. My advice to you guys, if you're a high schooler and you're watching this video, get a job ASAP. I promise you, it's so worth it. And I know if you're in high school, if you're like me, getting a job is intimidating as hell, dude. Like when you're 17, even if it's just a McDonald's, like if you've never worked a job, you've never actually like talked to strangers like that, yeah, it's scary. And it's okay to be scared. When I went to my first interview at McDonald's, I was sitting in my car listening to Andrew Tate motivational edits. I remember like the exact songs I was listening to. I had a bunch of gym edits because I was scared shitless, but you know, I wanted to like actually make money for myself and have something going for myself other than just going to the gym and lifting weights. So yes, if you guys are in high school watching this, get a job ASAP. I know it can be hard if you're a minor because there's work permits, and I had to work around those too, but if you're 16 years old, you should be able to land something. Tell your parents you're looking for a job. Tell all your friends, because there will be people you know who can get you into a job. So that's my number one tip. Number two, like I said, is the money that you make, literally just pretend it's not even there. Save everything if you can. Because when you're young, like I said, you don't have expenses, so you can save everything. And money when you're young is way more valuable than money when you're old, because it still has the chance to compound. If you guys don't know what compound growth is, check out my other videos that I've made. Just any of them. I talk about compound growth in pretty much every video, but that's another reason that you definitely want to start working young. And number 3, it'll build your skills, dude. Like, you might be sitting there thinking it doesn't matter now, but when I was 17 and I had no clue how to talk to people, how to talk to strangers, like, getting a job will teach you that. And it'll force you to do it, but not in like a this sucks kind of way, more in like a okay, I'm getting better every day kind of way. And it really will teach you not only how to talk to people, you know, how to work with other coworkers as a team. It'll teach you how to show up on time, you stay consistent with the schedule, build small relationships with customers. I guess the actual skills you learn at your first job won't be as important, like food prep. That's still good stuff to learn because it's good experience when if you're like me and you started working at 17 and now I'm 19 years old. I got 2 years of solid experience on my resume from a couple different jobs. Actually, I worked at Chipotle as well afterwards. I worked at a car dealership for a couple months. Now I'm working as a real estate agent. But it is great experience to get. So I think I'm gonna pretty much wrap it up here, guys. That's how I was able to save 30K by the time I graduated high school. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'll answer it to every single one of you guys. If you need any advice about anything, I'm happy to help. Any questions, hit me up. I'm excited. Please sub, like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.